Religious Ethics of the Western Faiths, Part 2, Matthew 5 through 7. About 1,300 years after the Decalogue, which we discussed in the previous lecture, we found that human beings had corrupted these basic teachings, and so a New Testament would have to be delivered. And so God is going to enter into the world in the form of Jesus, and it will be His job to correct the corruptions and wrongdoings. And so in addition to the Torah, the Tanakh, a New Testament is given, and it begins with the books of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. These Gospels will tell the story of the life of Jesus. But one of the interesting things about it is that there is a huge gap of years that we simply don't know what Jesus was doing during that time. And there's a lot of different theories to try to explain this, but between the ages of 12 and 30, we simply don't know. A lot of people believe that he became a member of the Essene community. Some people think he was a member of the Therapeutae. Some people think he just sort of sat back and did nothing. But I think there is one theory that's out there, and there's minor evidence to support it, but I think one that's worth considering is that Jesus was in India during that time, and that he studied under Hindu and Buddhist teachers. There are certain scriptures that have come to light. Some of them can be recognized, justified for what they are. Others are very questionable. But the fact is there are certain documents out there that sort of support this claim. And when we consider how very close the teachings of Buddha, Krishna, and Jesus are, it does make sense that maybe that's where some of his education took place. When Jesus comes back to Jerusalem from wherever he was, back to the Holy Land, he is going to begin his mission. And what he's probably most famous for in terms of the ethical aspect is this delivery of what's called the Sermon on the Mount, which is given at Matthew chapter 20. And the Sermon on the Mount is that attempt to show us where we went wrong in our interpretations of the Ten Commandments. As he says at one point, I've not come to destroy, but to fulfill the law of the prophets. You have heard it said to those of old, you shall not murder, and whoever murders will be in danger of the judgment. But I say to you that whoever is angry with his brother without cause shall be in danger of that judgment. What Jesus is doing is trying to clear up those loopholes. The commandment says, do not kill. And it doesn't mean don't kill in this reason or don't kill in that instance, but it's okay in this one, and so on, and all those exceptions we were trying to make. It says do not kill, and don't even allow the reason for it to arise. Why do we kill? Well, we kill out of anger a lot of times. And so if we can stop and prevent that anger from arising within us, then we don't even have to worry about the issue of killing. You have heard it said to those of old, you shall not commit adultery, but I say to you that whoever looks at a woman to lust for her has already committed adultery with her in his heart. Again, don't commit adultery. It's a very simple, very plain statement that was made within the commandments. But here Jesus is elaborating upon that. It's not just even the physical act of going out and committing adultery, but you should stop the feeling, the emotion within yourself that makes you want to act out in that way. Don't look at another person in that lustful fashion and with those lustful eyes. Again, you've heard it said that it was said of those of old, you shall not swear falsely, but shall perform your oaths to the Lord. But I say to you, do not swear at all, either by heaven, for it is God's throne, nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, nor by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great King. nor shall you swear by your head, because you cannot make one hair white or black. But let your yes be yes, and your no be no, for whatever is more than these is from the evil one. What is it that the commandment says? It says, don't bear false witness. In other words, don't lie. And a lot of people then will say, well, I'm going to swear on something holy. I'm going to swear upon something sacred. And Jesus says, no, don't swear upon anything. Just simply make it within yourself that when you speak, your speech is the truth. And there's no need to swear upon anything. It serves no purpose. Just be truthful. Just be honest. You've heard it said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. But I tell you, do not resist an evil person. But whoever slaps you on your right cheek, turn the other to him also. If anyone wants to sue you and take away your tunic, let him have your cloak also. And whoever compels you to go 1 mile, go with him 2. Give to him who asks you, and from him who wants to borrow, for you do not turn away. So many people have talked about this particular idea that we should turn the other cheek. But I think there's a misunderstanding here of what exactly this means. Because a lot of people see it as almost a form of masochism, inviting individuals to slap you, inviting individuals to abuse you in some way. But what it's actually saying is, don't react in a way that people expect you to react, but rather to react in a different way, to do something that's unexpected, because that's what's going to give you the other hand. The natural reaction when somebody slaps you or attacks you is to fight back, to defend yourself. But if you act from the standpoint of peace, if you turn the other cheek, if you try to walk away, then in that action you take the moral upper hand, and that person is left kind of questioning their own perspective and their own position. This is the view that Gandhi uses. It's the view that Dr. King uses in the civil rights movement. So turning the other cheek implies doing something different, something that's unexpected, which allows you to take that upper hand. You have heard it said that you shall love your neighbor and hate your enemy, but I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray to those who spitefully use you and persecute you. Of course, you should love your enemy, but ultimately you should love everyone. No matter who they are deserving of your respect. They are deserving of your dignity. And that's a concept, again, that we're going to see played out east and west time and time again. When you do a charitable deed, do not sound a trumpet before you as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory from men. You know, so many people, when they do a good deed, they do it not for the sake of doing that deed, but rather they do it to gain notoriety. It's about the self rather than about the others. And so don't applaud yourself. Don't slap yourself on the back every time that you do a good thing. Don't stand up and scream so that everybody knows that it's you. Simply do that act and let it speak for its own merit. All too often, and I'm sure everybody has seen these people, you go into a church or something and you've got those people that come in, they're always a little bit late, they're wearing their best clothing, they walk down and sit in the very front, they sing the loudest and most off-key, they do everything they can to make sure that you notice them, so that you see, look at these good holy people. But yet those people might be the same ones that are out the night before drinking and carousing. They might be the same people that as you're leaving flip you off because you got a little too close to them. These individuals are doing it for their own glory, not for God's. And so when you act, you should act like that person perhaps that doesn't care whether anybody sees them or not. who may walk in scraggly jeans and sit in the back pew where nobody sees them, but yet they listen to every word that's being said, and they gain everything they're able to gain from that. The lamp of the body is the eye. If therefore your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will be loyal to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and Mammon. It occurs to me that I should have been showing these screens to you while I was speaking, but I got a little caught up in the narration here. But anyway, no one can serve two masters. For either he will hate one and love the other, or else he will be loyal to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and Mammon. So therefore I say to you, do not worry about your life, about what you will eat or what you will drink, nor about your body, nor what you will put on. Nor life more than food, and the body more than clothing. Look at the birds of the air, for they neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not more value than they? Again, Jesus is reminding us of something here that we've seen within the Eastern traditions, and that is that God will provide for us the things that are necessary for our survival. We worry so much about how are we going to make money, how are we going to be able to buy the things that we want to buy and the things that we're going to need and all of that. But when it comes right down to it, this is not what is important. What is important is obedience to the rule. What is important is service and submission to God. And so you can't love both God and money. You can't serve both the material world and the spiritual world. You have to make that choice between the two. And the spiritual is the side that should be followed. Judge not that you be not judged. Now that line is one that that really is very difficult for a lot of people to follow. It says that you are not the judge, that God is the judge, and that we should stand back and allow Him to do this. It's not about us and our desire and our want. So when we look at individuals, though, we find that all the time this is what they're doing. They're passing judgment. Look at how this person is dressed. Look at how this person is behaving. Look at what this person's done and that person has done. We're always talking about other people. And this is what we're being warned against. You know, everyone will get that moment of judgment in front of God. And that is the true judgment. It's not our place to judge. Therefore, whatever you want men to do to you, do also to them, for this is the law and the prophets. That concept of the golden rule that I mentioned, that's found in every single ethical system the world over. And, you know, when we look at that, we recognize that that is the heart of the Torah. That is the heart of the Decalogue. That is the heart of the Sermon on the Mount. That is the heart of every ethical concept. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Don't treat others in a way you would not like to be treated. It's as simple as that. Do not do to others what you would not want others to do to you.